Hey Cowboys Nation! Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for all the latest Cowboys news, analysis, and breakdowns. We're always striving to improve, just like our beloved Dallas Cowboys, and your support helps us keep bringing you top-notch content. So, give this video a thumbs up and let's dive in. Alright, let's get into it. We're here to break down the studs and duds from that gut-wrenching loss to the Cincinnati Bengals. I know it was a tough one, but there's a lot to unpack. We're going to discuss what went right, what went wrong, and where things stand for the Cowboys moving forward. And don't forget to let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I'll be reading and responding to as many as I can. Let's start with the good news. The Cowboys actually came out looking sharp. The defense forced a 3-and-out on Cincinnati's first possession, and the offense took full advantage. We marched down the field and scored a touchdown on the opening drive. For a moment, it felt like the dominant 2023 team that made AT&T Stadium a fortress. But as the game went on, things started to fall apart. And while a lot of fans are talking about the muffed punt by Amani Oruwariye, the real issues run deeper. There were missed opportunities, questionable play calling, and moments of poor execution that allowed the Bengals to stay in the game and eventually snatch the win. Let's give credit where credit is due. Despite the loss, there were some standout performances that deserve recognition. Rico Dowdle was an absolute beast on the ground. He carried the ball 18 times for 131 yards, averaging an incredible 7.3 yards per carry. This was the best statistical game of his career, and he's proving that he can be a reliable weapon for this offense. He had 5 runs of 10 yards or more, showing his explosiveness and vision. The offensive line, despite being a patchwork unit, did a great job opening up lanes for Dowdle. Chuma Edoga started at left tackle for the first time this season, and Brock Hoffman stepped in at right guard. This line has been shuffled around all season, but they held their own. Trey Hendrickson, one of the league's best pass rushers, was limited to just 1 sack. That's a win in my book. The defense also deserves a shout-out. They forced 3 turnovers, held the Bengals to just 20 points, and gave the offense a chance to win with 2 minutes left. They held Cincinnati's rushing attack to under 4 yards per carry and made life difficult for Joe Burrow, who's been on fire lately. Micah Parsons and the defensive line applied consistent pressure, and the secondary came up with some big plays. Considering the injuries this defense has dealt with all season, their effort was commendable. They were playing with heart, and it showed. CeeDee Lamb started the game hot, catching 4 passes for 71 yards and a touchdown in the first 11 plays. He's been one of the top receivers in the league all year, and he showed why he's in the same conversation as guys like Justin Jefferson, Tyreek Hill, and Ja'Marr Chase. But here's where things get frustrating. Mike McCarthy's play calling left a lot to be desired. The Cowboys' run game was averaging 6.2 yards per carry, yet McCarthy decided to put the game in the hands of backup quarterback Cooper Rush. Rush finished with 4.9 yards per pass attempt, and the offense only ran the ball 25 times compared to 31 pass attempts. Late in the game, with the score tied at 20-20, Dowdle broke off a 14-yard run. It was the perfect time to keep feeding him the ball. Instead, McCarthy called 3 straight pass plays, all of which were incomplete. We ended up punting the ball away, giving the Bengals another chance to win the game. And they took it. We can't ignore the muffed punt by Amani Oruwariye. With under 2 minutes left, the Cowboys had a chance to get the ball back and potentially win the game. Instead, the muffed punt gave Cincinnati the ball deep in our territory, and they didn't waste the opportunity. Mistakes like these are the kind of lack of attention to detail moments that can cost a team dearly. And it's ironic because Jerry Jones praised McCarthy's extraordinary attention to detail after the game. Go figure. Injuries have been a theme all season for the Cowboys. Dak Prescott is out for the year. The offensive line has been in constant flux. The secondary finally had all 3 starting corners together for this game, but now we're dealing with new injuries. DeMarvion Overshown, who's been a standout on defense, suffered a devastating knee injury. He tore his ACL, PCL, and MCL. That's a brutal blow, and you could see the emotion on Micah Parsons' face. This one hurt. At 5-8, the playoffs are a long shot. But this team isn't giving up. The players are fighting, the coaches are preparing, and the goal is to finish the season strong. Tanking might be a popular idea among some fans and draft analysts, But don't tell that to the guys in the locker room. They're playing for pride, for each other, and for the star on their helmet. Mike McCarthy's future is up in the air. Jerry Jones continues to praise him while also dropping comments about Bill Belichick. It's an awkward situation, to say the least. Will McCarthy be back next season, or will the Cowboys make a change? That's a storyline we'll be following closely. After that brutal loss on Monday Night Football, ESPN says we've got less than a 1% chance of making the postseason. Yeah, I know, it hurts. But there's one man who hasn't lost faith, and that's our backup quarterback, Cooper Rush. And trust me, Rush's determination might be just what we need to fuel this final stretch. When asked about our chances, Rush didn't flinch. He said, and I quote, "Crazier things have happened in this league. And you know what? He's right. We've seen miracles before. We've seen comebacks that made NFL history. So, even if the odds are brutal, Rush is still out there fighting, believing, and putting everything on the line. You gotta respect that mindset. This isn't a team that's just going to roll over and tank for a better draft pick. The players are out there grinding, and the coaches are still scheming to win. We're not waving the white flag. Not now. Not ever. So, what's next? First stop, we're heading to Charlotte to take on the Carolina Panthers. Yeah, the Panthers are 3-10, but they've got a spark of their own lately. They're actually favorites for the first time since 2022, and they're hungry to prove something. But hey, if we can handle business there, it's one step closer to keeping hope alive. Then it's the big tests, Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Philadelphia Eagles. These aren't just games, these are battles. The Bucs lead the NFC South and have a lot to fight for, and the Eagles? Well, you know how that rivalry goes. Beating Philly in their own house would be the sweetest win of the season. We'll wrap up against the Washington Commanders. It might sound like an easy win, but divisional games are never predictable. Every snap counts. For the Cowboys to pull off this miracle run, a few guys are going to have to go beast mode. First up, Cooper Rush. He's filling Dak's shoes, and he's shown he can win under pressure before. Rush knows the system, he's smart with the ball, and if he stays cool, he can give us a shot. And, of course, CeeDee Lamb. We all know he's elite. But we need him to be more than elite, we need him to dominate. If Rush can connect with CD early and often, defenses will have a problem on their hands. On the defensive side, Micah Parsons is going to be our X factor. Yeah, he was frustrated after that Bengals game. Who wouldn't be? But Parsons' fire and intensity are what keep this defense alive. If he channels that frustration and starts wrecking offensive lines, we're going to make life miserable for opposing QBs. Now, let's talk about the elephant in the room, Mike McCarthy. Look, I get it. His play calling has left us scratching our heads more than once. Against the Bengals, we were running the ball for over 6 yards per carry, and yet McCarthy kept leaning on the passing game. It didn't work. If we're going to win these next games, we need smarter decisions. We need balance. We need to trust the ground game. We've got Rico Dowdle averaging over 7 yards a carry. Use him. Let the run game open up play action. Keep defenses guessing. This isn't rocket science, coach. And let's not forget the injuries. We've been hit hard this season. Dak Prescott, out. Our offensive line, a revolving door. DeMarvion Overshown's devastating knee injury? Man, that one hurt deep. But despite it all, this team keeps getting back up. That's the spirit of the Cowboys, and that's why, as long as there's a sliver of hope, we keep believing. Now it's your turn. What did you think of the game? Do you agree with the play-calling decisions? Should the Cowboys have run the ball more? And what's your take on McCarthy's future? Let me know in the comments below. And before you go, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. We've got more Cowboys content coming your way, and you won't want to miss it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Go Cowboys!